The Suicide Hotel. Everyone in Branford, Maine knew about Hotel Merrill, and no one dared to go near it after dark. It stood in the cliffs overlooking the Atlantic, half swallowed by fog, its stone walls cracked in weeping black moss. In the 1920s, it was the jewel of the East Coast, hosting famous writers, politicians, and millionaires. Then came the suicides. First a wealthy businessman, then his wife, then the bellhop. And by 1932, 15 deaths later, the hotel closed its doors forever. They said something evil had rooted itself inside the walls. Locals whispered it wasn't just the deaths. It was the way the bodies were found, all hanging from the rafters of room 313, a room that officially didn't exist on any blueprint. Over the years, the legend grew. Teens dared each other to step inside. Some never came back. Those who did returned, broken, hollow-eyed, refusing to speak of what they saw. Mia Carter, a 25-year-old YouTuber from New York, didn't believe a word of it. She wanted views. She wanted to be the first to live stream an entire night inside Hotel Merrill. She even brought 2 friends for backup, Jared Simmons, her cameraman, and Elena Brooks, her best friend and fellow skeptic. They arrived just before sunset, backpacks loaded with cameras, battery packs, and energy drinks. The front doors resisted, heavy and warped, but finally gave way with a groan that echoed through the empty halls. Inside, the air was thick and freezing. Dust motes danced in their flashlight beams. The reception desk sat abandoned, papers scattered across the floor like the remnants of some desperate flight. "This place is awesome," Jared said, grinning. "Creepy as hell. Our subs are gonna eat this up." Mia forced a laugh, but something in the silence made her skin prickle. 9:34 p.m. They explored the ground floor, streaming it live. The ballroom was a cavern of broken chandeliers and warped floorboards. The dining hall still had tables set for guests who would never return. Dusty plates, forks half lifted, as if frozen in time. In the kitchen, they found knives stabbed into cutting boards and darker stains on the walls. Elena muttered, "Okay, this is giving me bad vibes." The chat on Mia's live stream was blowing up. "Did you hear that? OMG, look behind you. Someone's watching you." They brushed it off. Pranks, trolls, until they heard the piano. 10:47 p.m. A single high note echoed from the ballroom. Ting, ting, ting. Slow, deliberate presses of unseen fingers. The group froze. Jared whispered, "Did anyone else just hear that?" The piano continued, playing a discordant, broken version of "Hush, Little Baby." Elena shook her head. "Nope, I'm not doing possessed pianos. I'm out." But the front door they had entered through were gone, literally gone. In their place was just a solid, crumbling wall. Mia's throat went dry. "That's not possible." Jared checked his phone. No signal, no GPS. The live chat had gone dead, replaced by a single word over and over. Room 313, room 313, room 313, 12 a.m. The clock above the lobby chimed, and the old desk phone, dusty and unplugged, began to ring. Mia, hands trembling, picked it up. A voice rasped through the receiver. "Third floor. End of the hall. Room 313 is waiting for you." The line went dead. 1:10 a.m. Reluctantly, they climbed the grand staircase. The second floor was worse. Mold creeping like veins along the ceiling, portraits of unsmiling guests watching them with blank, accusing eyes. Every few steps, the floorboards beneath them seemed to whisper, "Stay. Don't go. Turn back." They ignored it. They had to know. Third floor. The hallway stretched long and narrow, the ceiling slanting inward, oppressive. Most of the doors were numbered, dusty brass plaques. 301, 302, 303. At the very end, a door slightly ajar, no plaque, no number, and yet carved into the wood in jagged gouges. 313. Mia reached out to push it open. Jared grabbed her wrist. "Mia, seriously, maybe we don't..." She shook him off. Inside the room was beautiful, clean, warm. A roaring fire in the hearth, a plush bed with fresh linens, fresh flowers in a vase. It made no sense. Mia stepped in first, and the others followed, unable to resist. The door slammed shut behind them. The fireplace guttered out, plunging the room into darkness. When the lights flickered back, they were no longer alone. The bellhop stood by the mirror. Walter Pierce, the man who hung himself here a century ago. His neck twisted, mouth stretched into a grin that spoke of agony and madness. Around him stood others, the previous guests, pale, hollow-eyed, blood dripping from mouths and wrists and gaping wounds, all of them staring, all of them smiling. The mirror behind them showed the future, Mia, Jared, and Elena, hanging from the rafters, swaying gently. Invisible hands grabbed them. The air thickened into syrup. Mia struggled, screamed, but no sound escaped her throat. Jared and Elena were dragged backward into the darkness, their screams silenced by sudden wet snaps. The noose dropped from the ceiling, wrapping around Mia's neck. In the mirror, she saw herself smile, a smile that was no longer her own. "One more guest," whispered a chorus of voices. "One more soul, one more night in the suicide hotel." 5 a.m. Police found the place after locals reported screaming. They discovered 3 bodies hanging from the rafters of the 3rd floor. Mia Carter, Jared Simmons, Elena Brooks, their faces frozen in twisted smiles. No signs of forced entry, no logical explanation. The case was closed and sealed as unexplained. But Hotel Marrow still stands, waiting. And sometimes, if you're foolish enough to approach after dark, you might hear it. The shrill, desperate ring of a forgotten phone, begging for someone, anyone, to answer.